Dumelang guys, this is Molo speaking. Welcome to Sekhukhune Business Expo. This is the very first show we run today. The aim of this expo is basically to expose young people to businesses, to give them exposure, and also to encourage young people who want to get into the world of business by long, or perhaps they might be interested, but they don't know or have the platform to do so. We created basically Sekhukhune Business Expo for that type of platform. Molo, my business is Molo Health, and basically I do holistic health business. I produce juices, we make herbs, we teach people how to heal themselves using food as medicine. We teach you how to move away from acid-forming food to alkalinity, and we show you how, if you allow the body to heal itself, it can definitely do so from any disease whatsoever. It does not matter what Linda Lion again. My business, I started it back in 2017. The reason I started my business is because I was diagnosed with pre-diabetic symptoms. I was coming down, got diabetes, and my body was starting to fail me. I had no idea what was the reason why I get to all of a sudden, but I became aware because I began to do the research as to why I got sick. And so I was inspired to heal myself because I was a young man who was troubled and I needed help. And so I found information that allowed me to teach myself how to heal myself through the message of Dr. Sebi. So I started my business in 2017, and we started making these juices right here in 2019. And I make these juices using nothing but fruits, vegetables, and we press them cold. Fruits, vegetables such as apples, kale, basil, and whatnots. And yeah, basically that's what we do. We help people heal themselves using fruits and using food as medicine. And we give them these chlorophyll juices. I started this business back in 2017, as I said, but it was formally registered in 2016. And I started manufacturing and producing products in 2019. The progress has been absolutely beautiful. I started in 2019 using only a small kitchen machine. That machine, produces about 30 juices or so, or 60 juices or 90 juices in a day or 2 or 3. It would be hard and laborious, but I was able to grow this business from selling, I would say, 50 juices to now where we are selling almost 500. And we intend to grow that number to at least 1,000 or even 2,000 juices a month. We've also been able to now go into studying herbs and plants. So we have also started packaging herbs, and we also have various products here that we have for sale. What makes my business unique is the fact that we make cold pressed juices. There's not a lot of companies that exist. In fact, the only company I would say is our competition, Juice. And Juice is not necessarily our direct competitor, but yes, I could say they are our competitor. But what makes our business unique is the fact that we don't put preservatives, we don't put chemicals, and we keep them raw, pressed, and we store them frozen. And our target market mostly is Batwabantu in black communities, because we understand that Batwabantu in black communities generally we are sick because we live on acid-forming food. And so our business model is structured around Batwabantu in black and rural and townships as well. I would like to encourage young people to get into businesses because I became aware of the fact that out of 1 million children, Babas Tatang creature together, it is said that 500,000 only end up Bapasa Metric. Out of that 500,000 Epasa Metric, 300,000 a qualifier to go into university. And out of that 300,000, 100,000 does not necessarily have the type of qualification that allows them to go into a university. So some of them buy college. Out of the 200,000 that actually qualifies for Tsanakara University, only 100,000 emerges at the end of the line, their degree or diploma, which means most likely 800 or 900,000 young people who are starting created together, only 100,000 out of that number ends up qualifying with a degree or diploma, which tells me that there is a crisis Young people are waking up every single day, going to school, and at the end of the line, they end up getting nothing for it. And it does not necessarily mean that 100,000 they qualify to get their degree or diploma are going to get jobs. Only 3,000 out of that 100,000 eventually ends up getting the jobs, which tells us that there is a serious crisis, because that's why there's a high employment rate. That's why there's a generation of young people by longer. They go to school, they qualify, but then they come back. So the education system does not necessarily work for all of us. And so some of us enjoy explore other opportunities. So for me, entrepreneurship is the best thing any young person can venture into, because it allows them to use their minds and their hands and have an opportunity to build something for themselves that nobody can ever take away. And I believe that once someone has started, they can be very inspired. And ultimately, those are the people that build industries, a lot of people. So that's what I would say to young people who find themselves in difficult situations. And I understand that there's a group of young people, discouraged youth. That means they've qualified and they've been searching for a miracle, or they spend at least 1 year, 2 years. Firstly, in the first year, they were so excited. In a degree, you're so excited, you think you're going to get this job. But then my fellow will apply a year, then you start applying again the next year. After the second year, and that's what happens to a lot of young people, and that's why my fellow, they end up getting into drugs and alcohol, because their spirits die, simply because anybody because the system said, go to school, get a diploma or get a degree, but then they find themselves unemployed afterwards. So what I would say to those young people is, listen, the system is not necessarily proof-free. It does not mean that it is going to work for everybody. And so we need to find ways to volunteer the businesses. We need to find ways to study, to research, to find other ways rather than just saying we are going to look towards the education system. My number is 063-174-8798. You can find me on WhatsApp. My website is www.molohealth.co.za. Page on Facebook is Molo Health, and on Instagram is Molo Health Shop. We're also looking for people who are looking to sponsor the show, as we are a startup, so we are looking for ways to grow your relationship and our relationship. We expose your business. You help us in various areas that we may need, perhaps transportation, if we have to come to you or go to another client or longer, we would need to interview them, or perhaps if you have some money that you would like to contribute to the show to help us buy better equipment, make sure we have better services and quality products for you to actually be able to advertise and display business. And of course, if you would also like to sponsor us with your products, perhaps you may have something that we may use here on the show, or find a way to display your products here on the show as well. And in return, we will give you free marketing. We'll help you get exposure here on the podcast, and also we will give you a freedom or network of all the people and other entrepreneurs by longer. You can do business with them, or even clients that can buy from you. And so this is me, Molo, signing up for today. I would like to say thank you for the time, and do stick around, because we have another hot show to give you next time as we sit down with another entrepreneur. Cheers.